India held two highest-level talks and discussions with its two allies, Japan and Australia, last week as Prime Minister Narendra Modi hosted Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida in capital New Delhi and held a virtual summit with Australian PM Scott Morrison. Both Japan and Australia are members of the Quadrilateral Security Dialogue, Quad, that has enhanced its cooperation in recent times to keep any threats in the Indo-Pacific at bay.
Nearly 3.5 years after the previous bilateral summit, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his Japanese counterpart Fumio Kishida met in the Indian capital New Delhi for the 14th India-Japan Annual Summit. Apart from discussing the entire gamut of bilateral ties, the two sides reiterated their commitment to take the relation to newer heights in coming times. Apart from the strategic component, both Tokyo and New Delhi have been working together to enhance the relationship on all fronts. In 2020, the two countries signed an acquisition and cross-servicing agreement that allows for reciprocal stocks of food, fuel, and other supplies between defense forces. In recent years, Japan has supported India's urban infrastructure development and provided funds for a high-speed railway based on its bullet train technology. Japan will be investing nearly $42 billion in India in the coming time.
आने वाले 5 वर्षों में 5 ट्रिलियन येन, 5 ट्रिलियन येन मतलब करीब 3,20,000 करोड़ रुपए का नया टारगेट तय किया है.
The meeting that came amidst escalating Russia-Ukraine crisis also discussed the duo's response towards what Kishida described as a war that has shaken the foundation of international order. While Japan has imposed sanctions on dozens of Russian individuals and organizations since the start of what Russia calls its special military operation in Ukraine and has accepted Ukrainian refugees, India is the only Quad member not to have condemned the invasion. However, it has urged peace from both parties. The government of India has also been proactively sending all forms of assistance to Ukrainians who have fled and have found themselves stranded in the war. The two sides also said that they were working to make the Indo-Pacific more open and more free.
国際法に基づき、紛争の平和的解決を求める必要があること、こうした状況だからこそ、自由で開かれたインド太平洋の実現に向け、取り組みを一層推進していくことが重要であること、こうしたことを確認をいたしました。インドと連携し、
Indian Prime Minister also held a virtual summit with Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison to discuss both the bilateral ties and the degrading situation of Russia-Ukraine war and committed to work even strongly to avoid any similar conflict in the Indo-Pacific. Morrison also said that cooperation between like-minded liberal democracies was the key to an open, inclusive, resilient and prosperous Indo-Pacific.
While we are obviously distressed at the terrible situation in Europe, our focus, of course, is always very much on what is occurring in the Indo-Pacific and ensuring that those events could never occur here in the Indo-Pacific.
The Australian government is investing over $280 million to boost cooperation with India to further grow its economic relationship and support jobs and businesses in both countries, the Australian government said in a press statement on Tuesday. In 2020, India was Australia's 7th largest trading partner with two-way trade valued at $24.3 billion and the 6th largest goods and services export market valued at $16.9 billion. In 2020, India was Australia's 3rd largest market for services exports. India's ties with Quad countries have improved significantly in the past few years, and their regular engagements have underlined that this alliance will only get stronger with time. India, United States, Japan, and Australia are members of the Quad, an informal group that Washington has been promoting to work as a potential bulwark against China's increasing political, commercial, and military activity in the Indo-Pacific.